Hey guys, it's Pastor Andy. Today is April the 8th, and we're looking together in Psalm chapter 60. Psalm 60 is a rough time in David's life. They have just gone down and gone into battle, and David, who was building a name for himself as a king and as a warrior, suffers a pretty strong defeat. And he takes this defeat. Many of the people in the whole nation of Israel, and David speaks for the whole nation here, is he comes out asking God, why, God, have you turned your back on us? He's speaking out for the whole nation. He says in verse 1, you have rejected us, O God, and broken our defenses. You have been angry with us. Now restore us to your favor. Verse 2, you have shaken our land and split it open. Seal the cracks, for the land trembles. You have been very hard on us, making us drink wine that sent us reeling. So David is calling out to God, what have you done to us? You've messed us up here a little bit. You're shaking us. And they were looking at this one defeat as God turning his back on the nation of Israel, turning his back on his chosen people. But that's not what had happened at all. God was trying to get David to stop trusting in his own abilities and turn back to God and trust in him. And it's so easy when things are going good for us to begin to trust in ourselves. And I think that what we're experiencing in our country is proof of that. We have trusted in ourselves, the ability to have a job and the ability to make money. And we've got all these things going. And when things are going good, most of the time we don't trust in God. We don't put our dependency on him. We kind of tend to forget him at times. And God does things to turn the hearts of his people back to himself. And that's what happened here in this chapter. And I believe that's what's happening in our nation right now. God is using this pandemic to turn people back to him, to make them realize, hey, you know what? It's not all about you. I can stop you with one little virus and your whole world comes to an end. Everything closes. You're not going to be able to do anything that you want to do. It's kind of like a pride check. God saying, it's not you. You need to remember me. I'm the one who is important here, not you. You're so small you can't affect things, but I'm so big that by one little tiny insignificant thing, I can shut everything down. And we have the tendency too, when that kind of thing happens, to fall into the trap that the nation of Israel did and say, God, what are you doing? You've forgotten us. You're shaking us. How are we going to get through this? You've turned your back on us. But that's not what God has done at all. He hasn't turned his back on us. He's trying to turn our attention to him. He's trying to use this to draw us closer to him, not to push us away, but to get our attention and get us to realize that we need him. He is powerful. He is important. Every good and perfect thing that we have in our life comes from him, not from our abilities and not from our strength. And I think so many as a church, we can fall into that same trap. Things are going good. Finances are good. People are coming to Christ. People are coming and joining the church. All these things are great. And then one little check like this and we can't have church for a few weeks and we're thinking, God, what are you doing? Well, you turned your back on us. Well, no, he's wanting us to keep him the priority and to turn our attention back to him. And when you get down to the end of this chapter, David kind of closes it out by saying this in verse 12. With God's help, we will do mighty things, for he will trample down our foes. One setback does not equal defeat. One problem does not equal failure. One setback here for the nation of Israel didn't mean that they were defeated for good and God was done with them. God was using this defeat to push them closer to him. So let's use the same thing in our lives. Let's allow this problem that we are facing in our world to turn us back to God. I hope you'll get in God's word and you'll read it for yourself and you'll see what God has for you. And until tomorrow, God bless you and have a great day.